a metaphor for this movie on this channel. Hello one, hello all, welcome to WILIscredia Reviews. Today we're covering the 2017 independent horror film, Ice Cream Truck. Mary moves back to her suburban hometown to find that the suburbs are scarier in more ways than she ever remembered. The Ice Cream Truck is written and directed by Megan Friels-Johnson and stars Deanna Russo and Emil Johnson. To the channel question, who would like it? So if you like a slasher but want your final girl, your female protagonist, to be a bit stronger, this is probably for you. Also, if you prefer your films to breathe a bit, I would say that this is probably worth checking out. If you like your horrors and or thrillers to have a bit of subtext, you want to do a little extra work reading into things, perhaps this is something you may want to check out. So that's who I think probably would be interested in this. It's currently free on Amazon Prime. By all means, don't take any of my opinions or anybody else's opinions. Go check it out for yourself. There's really no excuse, especially if you have Prime. It's free on Amazon Prime. By all means, go check it out and build your own opinion. And then come back and check back to see what I had to say. Otherwise, here is Did I Like It? The short answer is no. So this all started with my co-host from Harney to Hero, Lee from Drum Dums. He reviewed the film prior to its release and gave it I think he gave it 4 stars on Letterboxd, and he had it rather high in his list. Compared it to Halloween, he kind of sang it up a bit. And to know that we're, if you know us, we're of the same mind that horror should be, better right now. And to hear him say as much as he did, I was certainly intrigued, to say the very least. He had it ranked higher than movies that I would say are excellent. I think he even had it higher than Get Out, which should tell you things. Get Out was nominated for 4 Oscars. So yeah, this started with me giving Lee a bit of shit after I watched it. Didn't really have a good time. There was 4 major gripes that I had with this film that I felt needed to be explained, because perhaps I wasn't getting it. There's plenty of times where I've missed the mark on something and not completely understood a film, and I thought maybe that was the case here. Lee would eventually receive a care package from the director, writer, producer, Megan Friels-Johnson, who sent him a poster, a copy of the movie, signed shit, as a thank you, which to me seems a little odd. It doesn't have the right optics if you're asking me, but that's if you're asking me. Eventually she would join Lee's Killer Flicks Facebook group, and paths were certainly crossed, and I figured that my very popular, how do I put this politely, lack of interest in the film was quite commonly known. So it turns out that I was an extended member of another network and was doing interviews with this other network through either Lee or this other network. I figured that I'd have the chance to at least have a respectful interview with the director, which ended up happening. It was originally scheduled for February 13th, 2018, but yeah, things got pushed forward. It ended up being January 28th. I need to remind you that the original date for the interview was supposed to be February 13th. So it turns out that the timing of the interview and Emily's review of the Ice Cream Truck happened on the same day and were separated by a mere 10 hours. The interview happened first. So as somebody who didn't like the film, I felt a tad bamboozled as it was presented that I was a fan, and that really isn't true. And I tried to redirect that sentiment as much as I could while still being, I've respectfully interviewed people that I don't agree with And I've had filmmakers say that I was their best experience as far as interviewing is concerned. So it's, to say that I was disrespectful during the interview is, I would say, unfair, but whatever. During this interview, I tried to get to the bottom of as much as I could regarding the film and the director's intent with certain things, and some things were confirmed, some things were corrected. I had a misconception about the distributor, which I guess we'll get to again in a second. But there's other things, shot selection, line choices, that were just proven to be what I thought. And then Emily's review came out 10 hours later, which was co-written by me. It's interesting. For as much shit as one person or another got for that review, writers can coexist, and two people can make a joint venture. It's not, it's on her channel. It's her characters. It's her hard work. I helped write some of the stuff technically. Since Emily and I have been together, we've kind of combined forces and worked together on certain. She's worked on stuff here. I've worked on stuff on her channel. And while she focuses more on the emotional and character stuff, I focus more on the technical stuff. So once that review came out, Megan got word of it, saw it, and got angry. This was super mean-spirited, and FYI, it takes a hell of a lot more work to make an independent film than it does to make a narcissistic YouTube video. The woman who produced, wrote, and directed 2 films from the production company Look at Me Films. Look at me! Generalized YouTubers as narcissistic. When someone does a 17-minute YouTube video making fun of you, maybe you'll know how that feels. Hashtag the golden rule. CP pretty tacky to upload this after spending an hour with me on a podcast this morning. I didn't upload it. I took part in it. I was an actor and a co-writer. I didn't upload it. So technically, Emily was the distributor. I didn't distribute that piece. Semantics. To generalize YouTubers as narcissistic is not only petulant, but you're kind of lumping your good buddy Lee from Drum Dums in that group, because he's a YouTuber, makes videos by himself. I would be offended if I were him. But whatever. She wasn't a fan of the review. That's one thing. As far as how it relates to me is concerned, is she clearly wasn't happy. She left the Facebook group, asked to have it taken down from various different people. The group that I was interviewing with, although the interview and the review are 2 totally different things on 2 totally different channels, neither of which is this one, by the way. And since that moment, I'm no longer a part of that group. So, yeah, she kicked and stomped and got her way in some way, and that was it. So, she did some damage. Monday the 29th, everything's done. We're all set. Hey, learned a lesson. Right? Right. So almost 9 days pass.
Oh my God. 9 days! 9 days! Thank you very much. You better have more sake.
Before the comment section lights up from the writer-director herself on Emily's video with a bit of a diatribe. Since you lack some basic entertainment industry knowledge, a distributor comes on after a movie's made, not before. Uncork'd is a distributor. A production company is who actually makes the film and is involved with all the decision making. Well, Uncork'd produces some films too. I can't say how I know that they influence some things that are done with film, but I just know that every now and again, a company like Uncork'd, I'm not saying that it is Uncork'd, they come in and say, yeah, we'll finance this, but this needs to have this in it. Sure, they certainly distributed your film, and All right. Clearly lacks some basic entertainment industry knowledge. Your time is probably better spent picking apart studio film that has huge budgets and tons of resources, not indie filmmakers who put their blood, sweat, and tears into the filmmaking process. Blood, sweat, and tears. Okay, fuck it. Indie films don't have a lot of money, and filmmakers spend years putting a movie together, unlike a 20-minute YouTube video in your apartment. Yeah, touche. I'm a twice over failed filmmaker. I'm a entertainer, a comedic writer. As somebody who writes and recognizes certain things, it's awfully troubling that somebody doesn't recognize Emily's characters in her review. A little writing trick, sometimes writers will give you the characteristics of the character in the name. Emily astutely does that. There's not much to look into with characters named Braggart and Killjoy. Their characteristics are right there in their name. Kind of basic stuff. Maybe you didn't read that book. Doing videos like this makes you no different than a troll or a bully. Spending all your time insulting someone for their hard work. Again, as a writer, I would hope you'd recognize satire. To not recognize the satire in the three separate characters that are also dressed differently is quite troubling to a writer. Satire. Maybe dip your toe into comedy next, and then figure out what that is, because that's what it was. It wasn't a trolling video. It was a review done with satirical looks into the film, using different characters to take different stands. I didn't think it was that hard to notice, but I guess it is. Spending all your time insulting someone for their hard work. Who said she took all of her time doing this? First of all. Secondly, you have some impressive life goals. Who says that she wants to rip shitty movies for a living? Or, what? I work hard at stand-up comedy. The second time I ever did a show, second time ever on stage, I was booed. People walked out on me. The very next performance, I had a standing ovation. What do you think I remember most? The second one, not the third one. And reasons being, you learn from your mistakes. If everybody tells you you're doing okay, but they don't think that, what do you have to gain from that? Nobody's saying you shouldn't be making movies. As a matter of fact, both your movies, there's something there. I would just say do better. Both Rebound and Ice Cream Truck have moments that are certainly interesting to me. I would just say that they're padded. Rebound is a film that the first act is a little explainy, a little tell don't show, which is a recurring pattern so far with Megan Friedel-Johnson's work. But by the third act, there's some interesting things that happen. I would say in both cases, they're good short film ideas that are stretched and padded way too much. I'd like to see more of the suburbia angle in Ice Cream Truck. The Ice Cream Truck angle has no place in this movie as far as I'm concerned. We don't establish that villain. There's nothing really to care for regarding the villain. We're not really afraid. We don't know why. And some shots just don't explain anything. It's the visual art. We're not reading it. You need to show us things. Show, don't tell. In horror, you cannot do tell, don't show. I mean, I'm pretty sure some people can, but you really got to perfect it. Kevin Smith switched over from doing comedy, and a film like Red State, he rather miraculously switched his method. Now he's doing things like Tusk. However you feel about that, he's not telling so much anymore as he is showing. Kevin Smith, notorious for doing tell, don't show. Evolved. I don't usually comment on bad reviews, but this one was beyond obnoxious and self-serving. You need to read more reviews. Clearly you want to be an actress since you made this entire video about yourself. It's her fucking channel, you idiot. And went as far as to put your face, all caps, in the poster. She does that with all the reviews. Not just your special film, all of them. It's kind of the gag. Every thumbnail, including Lee. Lee puts himself in the thumbnail. It's because it's his channel. All us narcissistic YouTubers need to let people know that it's somehow ours. A word to the wise, this isn't the way to get filmmakers to want to hire you for a film. XOXOXOXO. Don't you mean casting directors? Or are you generalizing again in filmmakers? To that, Emily issued a very, very, very nice apology of sorts and was quite civil, if you ask me. Very hard to keep my mouth shut during all that. To which Megan replied, I didn't go to film school. I learned by years of hard work. If your videos are going to indicate that you know a thing or two about quote unquote shots, the camera work insults you so eloquently included, etc., you should have some basic knowledge. Again, co-written. The thing about the technical aspect is me. You know, when you go to film school, they make you read these things. They're called books. And they explain the technical aspects. This one here, I'd recommend this one. This was one of the first classes. I was given this book in one of my first classes. So, you know, these are just basic, again, just basic knowledge of filmmaking and the process. You take your hard work, I'll take the rules. I create movies that have more going on than surface value. You're doing a bad job of showing it. I understand that not everyone has the patience for that, and that's okay. Is it though? Because it doesn't sound like it is. However, out of all the reviews I've read and videos I've watched, yours is far and away the most disrespectful. Read more reviews, please. The things you say in your videos with exact opposite of respect for the filmmaking process. No. See, I can't stand Rob Zombie and his filmmaking process. A shot like the opening shot from 31, I understand what's happening. That is not money. That's not anything. That's using the camera to influence emotion. We're unsettled because it's this creepy dude and he's filling the screen. You don't need money to move a camera. The medium shots for everything is lazy. You could say you're busting your ass in blood, sweat, and tears. The medium shot reverse for conversations in a horror movie and you're trying to influence, you know, emotion is lazy. Rob Zombie, as much as I can't stand that movie, at least he's cinematically influencing what I should be feeling. I do feel unsettled with that opening shot. After that, it goes downhill, but at least he's showing us effectively what we should be feeling. Didn't like the movie, but I understood the process. Your whole comment feed is to drum up insults and negativity. Some basic YouTube knowledge. The comment feed is the viewers who are commenting on the video, not the owner of the video. Basic YouTube knowledge. That's why people hate internet and trolls, blah, blah, blah. The way you would want to be treated. Again, we could refer the hashtag golden rule. I'll let you in on some rules for filmmaking since you didn't go to school. The rule of threes, the 180 rule. These are things that, sure, you want to call it art, but there's some rules to filmmaking. And it's offensive. It's offensive to us that, you know, have studied and understand what happens in film and what should be happening in film when it's not done. And then somebody outright says that they didn't go to film school, that just busted their ass. People who want to succeed should know what they're doing. I think I'm funny. I don't just go out there and say funny shit or what I think is funny. I try to figure out what makes people laugh and why people laugh. To be better. None of us are perfect. And again, it's not to say that you don't deserve to be making films. There's ideas there that are just, there's something there, just do better. Do better. I'm excited to see hunting season. But as a plead from an internet critic, please move the camera around. Get in close with somebody who's doing something dramatic. When she outright says that her editor wanted a shot that is well over 90 seconds long, showing nothing, that her editor says that he wanted it cut and she refused, that's bad. They're trying to help. There's nothing in this shot. If you wanted to influence the audience, perhaps showing that from the reverse angle. We don't know what he's doing, washing his hands, jerking off, pissing. All we are is guessing because all we see is his back and white walls. If you show that shot from the reverse angle with the dead bodies in the background and him just caring about his business like it's nothing, then we're like, oh, this is a creepy fucking dude. But we don't see that. You could intend something, but page to screen, it's not translating for most of us. You could say that it got across to some people, but the overwhelming majority just don't see that. A lot of your shots linger for no apparent reason. Again, page to screen. It may be written in the script, in the actions that something's happening, but on the screen we're not seeing anything. To run off and give Emily shit for her review, which by the way, her narrative is quite clear. A much better storyteller from what I'm looking at, if I'm comparing to. If you want to go and give her shit and then apologize to her for being another female, then yay. Going around and apologizing to people because it hurt coming from a female is one thing, but your film needs work. Your films need work. If I'm being honest, I prefer Rebound over Ice Cream Truck. I feel like that's a lot more focused. But separate the work, the critique from the person. I have no problem with the writer, producer, director. Also, I don't feel that anything critiquing a piece of art is disrespectful to the creator. That's just nonsense. Megan, do better. I'm not saying don't make movies, do better. Because some of us went to school and some of us recognize that some of this shit is shit. Do better. Golden rule.